Williams, what you up to?
Shooting already.
Yeah, what you up to?
Uh, Majorly just downloading movies on Netflix and hoping to kind of like just get into video games.
Okay,
You know,
what film are you downloading?
I'm downloading Marco Polo. That's
Marco
kind of like
Polo.
an old movie, but I kind of want to watch it
Yeah.
just to get into the mix.
Okay, it's a good film. It's a series, right?
Yeah, it is. Although there is like an origin story to this, I think I have to download that as well. So
Oh, okay.
hopefully that's all of this one.
Okay, cool. Let's go shoot now.
Alright. So okay. Hello guys, welcome back to NexPad Gaming, and I'm Williams, and thank you for showing up on the second episode, because for the very first episode it was kind of, I wouldn't say clumsy, but it was weird, if you let me say that, and it's fun. On the last video we spoke about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and this video is kind of like similar to that, because I know I gave you guys a, in quotes, review of what the game holds, but I didn't really give you any in-depth as to the storyline or the plot or what exactly the game was all about. And speaking from the perspective of a beginner, because that's my first ever Call of Duty campaign, I would still say the game is pretty awesome and it's really cool. And a little bit about the storyline is it's this whole pitch against chemical warfare, where you become a set of different characters and then you play through the game with different objectives, and all of that, because I don't want to give you guys any spoilers, all of that just compiles into one interesting storyline that, trust me guys, it's going to blow you out of your mind. Maybe not out of your mind, because at some point, here's the spoiler, the gameplay isn't as long as I expected it to be, so maybe that might be an issue for most of us, but they got us covered, which is why they gave us the multiplayer and then the Warzone, which is like phenomenal so far. Although for me so far concerning this game, the multiplayer doesn't exactly suck, but I don't enjoy it based on how the mapping is, because for me the mapping is really small, and based on how I felt the storyline was like pretty awesome. I could move around, you know, that sense of being an actual soldier and having to go from place to place, do stuff, and all of that in the multiplayer is just like gone, because you are in this like tight space and you are moving around with, depending on how many of you guys are playing, and that kind of like just takes away a lot of vibe, especially for me being a beginner. But Warzone comes out to be a much more interesting piece to this whole game. Warzone is more like, if you've ever played PUBG, think of Warzone as PUBG. So you can, it's kind of wider, it's more interesting for you to kind of like get into it. And for this video guys, I've got like 4 interesting tips for every beginner that can make you seem a badass in Call of Duty Warzone, and I'm going to share that with you right after this. So guys, let's head over into Call of Duty and let me show you a couple of tricks that I believe would definitely improve your gameplay. So now, with all the tips and tricks that I'm going to be giving you guys in this particular video, it majorly could work for either multiplayer or Warzone, which is why I feel like it's really awesome for you to kind of like get started into. So what you really want to do is not really something technical in the gameplay itself. Actually, it has to do with your controller. So you want to head over to your options and you want to go straight to controller. So first of all, we head over to the controls. Now for the button layout preset and all of that, you could just skip that. Then head down straight to horizontal stick sensitivity. Now if you have seen any pro Call of Duty player, you kind of like could tell like they can easily sweep across the screen like really quickly. So now what you want to do is you want to increase your horizontal stick sensitivity and your vertical stick sensitivity. Now you want them to be about the same range, because now 6 could be good, the default is on 4, but I would recommend like a 7 high. So that way it's kind of like easy for you to move left, right, up, down, and it's kind of like really nice if you have to like quickly sweep across the screen. For your aim assist, you want to move it to precision. Now precision is actually really good for accurate players, and that is what you want to become. You want to like get accurate at your shooting and all of that stuff. So move your aim assist to precision. Now we could head over and just kind of like leave the rest on this. Oh, for use reload behavior, you want to move that to contextual tab. Now the reason is because when you have to reload, generally for PlayStation players, I think even Xbox, you hold down the button to reload. But now because of that takes a little bit of time for you to kind of like, you know, do all of that, and it slows you down, especially if you have like someone running at you. So what you need to do is make that button a single tap, and that way you kind of like, it's just like it's swift. For slide behavior too, you also want to put it on tap, so while you are sprinting you don't have to hold it down, you kind of like just make it a single tap. All of this just cuts out a little bit of time frame from your hand action, in which you have to like hold down to load, hold down to do this, hold down to do that. And also you should also move down to automatic sprint. Now put it on, I would recommend automatic tactical sprint. Now the difference between automatic sprint and automatic tactical sprint isn't really a lot, but for me, I think I just like the tactical between automatic and sprint. It kind of like makes more, it feels more Call of Duty-ish. That's why I kind of like prefer the automatic tactical sprint. And for camera center, all good. This is all good. Now another thing that I would say you should also do is move over to the general, and what you want to head over to is your map. Now the default map is on round, but you should move that to square, and then the minimap rotation you should disable it. Now the reason for this is a square feels more, it's broad, it's broader than the circle, and disabling the minimap rotation kind of like gives you a very precise position of your character anywhere in the gameplay. So you don't have your map kind of like spinning around while you like move to the edge. So in any position you are, your north is always up, and you know, west, east, south, you kind of like, you can pretty much tell which part is which part, especially if you are then playing in a team. So that way it's easy for you guys to kind of like communicate, and then all of that. For one very last tip, I would say this doesn't exactly enhance gameplay. What it does is it's your composure in gameplay, and that's why we would come to the controller vibration. And what you want to do is you want to turn this off. Now the reason for this is, now although a couple of people would say it's kind of like makes you feel the game more, it kind of like brings you into the game, the real sense is you want to play the game to win the game. You want to have more victories, and the vibration kind of like, it puts in a sense of fear in your gameplay when the pad begins to like vibrate in your hands, and then your accuracy becomes lessened, your reaction becomes lessened. So you want to take that out, although it could hurt your gameplay for like a couple of sessions, but after that you get used to it, and then all you just want to do is head in for the kill. So next up guys, you head over to the general. Now in general it's kind of like pretty much tight, but now what you want to do is you want to disable your world motion blur and your weapon motion blur. Now guys, to be honest, this is going to like make your game look a little less of the actual cinematic view that kind of comes with the game. So the game, your game is still going to run smoothly, well enough, but it's going to be like, you know, there's going to be a lapse in it, and that's because you have your horizontal stick sensitivity has been increased. Now if your blur is active, you still won't get the best out of that settings, because everything still blurs out when you try to move from left to right, up and down, and you just won't be able to make the best decisions as you try to like look around in your environment. Next up, you want to change your minimap shape from round to square. Now the square looks slightly bigger than the circle because like you then get a bit more detail on your mapping, as well as your minimap rotation. You want to disable that as well. Now the minimap rotation, if you've noticed, when you get to, let's say, an edge in the game, it kind of like just straightens up, and then you could potentially lose a sense of your actual position. But disabling it just makes you know that your north is north, your east is east, your west is west, and your south is south. So that way it's easier for you to communicate between teammates, and then for you to kind of like get the best out of whichever place you play. So, and it kind of like gives you an edge for victory. So that's majorly most of it. That's going to be it on tips and tricks to improve your gameplay, and that is all I have for you guys. So guys, I hope you found all those tips really helpful, and I hope that improves your gameplay as a beginner, because for a good part it makes you feel like a pro, and why not? Why don't you want to feel like a pro? Like, I want to feel like a pro. I want to play like a pro. So those are the tips that I hope you find them really helpful in your gameplay for Call of Duty Warzone. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, we've got some like interesting stories. Not like a lot of story, but majorly it's concerning the PlayStation 5. And Sony has also released a list of games that are confirmed to be coming out with the console for PlayStation 5. And top on the list, like you all would always guess, is the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And like I said in the previous video, it was kind of like a way to depict the Vikings era, which I kind of like will still say is maybe a makeup for Odyssey, but that's like a different story for a different time. And also we've got Death 5. That's like, if you don't know what it is, it's majorly like a racing game, off-road racing. And we've also got like a couple of other games, which for me, I also expect PlayStation 5 to also release a list of other games as well. That would include Call of Duty. I would like to also have Call of Duty on PlayStation 5. Then we can also look forward to Rainbow Six Siege, and as well as a couple of other games. I think, what other game would I be interested in seeing on the PlayStation 5? Majorly, okay, Watch Dogs is also confirmed. Watch Dogs is actually going to be coming out with the PlayStation 5, but I would also like to see The Last of Us too, you know, in all of this mix, because of the whole vibe that has been around the game. And then if we don't speak closely on the actual release of the console, PlayStation 5, you know, there is word flying around that perhaps there might be a delay in the actual release, and that is due to the global pandemic, which we all are kind of like battling with, the coronavirus. And while this is a major concern, Sony has kind of also released something to majorly just keep everyone at ease and tell us that, yeah, the gameplay is still in view. As a report given to Essential Sports, Sony says regarding the launch of PlayStation 5, although factors such as employees working from home and restrictions on international travel have presented some challenges in regards to the part of the testing process and the qualification of production lines, development is progressing with the launch of the console scheduled for 2020 holiday season. At this point in time, major problems have not arisen in the game software development pipeline for Sony's own first-party studios or its partners' studios. So what that means is majorly we'll still have our PlayStation 5 console when Sony says it's out. And if I should give a wrap up on all of that, the PlayStation 5 console could also maybe be something that perhaps for those of us here in Nigeria, it's going to be pricey, to be honest, because for the rumored price that everyone is sort of getting at this point, which is, I am estimating it to be $549, which you sort of will estimate to, you know, if you then calculate that at like about 380 naira per dollar, that would then give you like a staggering 208,600 thereabouts, and that's kind of like really pricey for a game console. But no worries, let's just hope that everything turns out well, and then it will be nice. So thank you for sticking up to the end of this video. If you did like this video, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more of this kind of videos. Hopefully I learn to get more tips and tricks around other gameplays that I tend to review on the channel, and then from there we'll kind of like just evolve with all of it. So stay safe guys, peace out. I'm Williams and this is NexPad Gaming.